Welcome to the last video of this section where we're going to talk about the clear message format. Now, clear message format is not directly in your textbook. It's hinted at in a couple of different places. And if you look at, there's a section in here on expressing feelings that has some handshaking, but it's not this format. And I want you to play with this format because I know I like it when if I'm like upset. A format or a formula, for lack of a better term, can actually make me feel, it becomes easier for me to communicate. So I'm hoping that this is helpful to you. And I stole it out of another textbook I used to teach out of. I liked it so much, I've kept it in future classes. So clear message format is all about stating your needs in a way that is constructive. The goal of this is to promote that collaborative conflict resolution, okay? It's going to have some handshakes or some similarities to the perception check. But whereas a perception check is about trying to understand someone else's motivations, clear message format is about you being explicit or direct about your motivations. All right, and so that's kind of the difference. This has got a couple of different pieces, and honestly, in a lot of cases, this is going to sound natural when you make it your own. But I'm going to give it to you in a very robotic format to start out with. So let's take a scenario and let's pretend that we were going to get together with another person to work on a project. Let's pretend like it's a project for school. And let's pretend that this is in the before time when we could actually go out of the house. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is describe the behavior. So let's say they didn't show up. And describe the behavior without judgment. Okay, that's super important. So I would say something like, hey, we were supposed to get together at Starbucks at 5 yesterday to work on our project. I checked my phone a whole bunch of times, and that's what we had agreed on. I never saw you. I waited until 6 o'clock, and I never saw you. Okay, that's the behavior description. And again, no judgment. You're not going to say when you stood me up. It's just, I didn't see you. Then you interpret, and you might say, I guess that you forgot. Or you might even say, I don't know if maybe you decided that you wanted to do something different. See how this sounds like the perception check? Okay. You ascribe the meaning that you think is behind the conflict. Then you talk about that effect. How did it make you feel? And again, I know some people are squicky about that, but I think it's important. So, and it made me feel like you didn't think that this was important or that I wasn't worth your time. All right. And you really do want to mark. And this is why being aware and being able to ascribe a word to your emotions that we talked about way in the beginning of the section is so darn important. It can be, if we just say it made me mad, that doesn't always tell people exactly. So you might just want to say, it was very upsetting, or it made me mad because, and then why. All right. And that's really important. The consequence, so you might say, it made me feel like you didn't want to work on the project with me. And now I don't know where this project is going from here. And I'm really worried about us being able to get this done. And then I want to get this project done successfully. How do we solve it? That's that intention. So behavior, interpretation, feeling, consequence, intention. All right. There's two examples on your slide. And I want to kind of mark out the pieces. So let's look at the top one. When I didn't hear from you last night, I thought you were mad at me. I've been thinking about it ever since, and I'm still worried. Could you tell me what's going on? Behavior description. When I didn't hear from you last night. Interpretation. I thought you were mad at me. I've been thinking about it ever since, and I'm still worried is the feeling. And honestly, also the consequence at the same time. And then, could you tell me what's going on is the desire for the outcome. All right. Same thing on the second example. I've asked you to put the laundry away several times now. There's your behavior. I'm getting the idea that you don't think it's your responsibility. That's interpretation. And it's making me feel used. There's the emotion. If you don't put your laundry away and I have to do it, it's going to make me not want to do things for you in the future. Consequence. Now, intention is what's missing in this statement. You would say, what do you think we should do, or how can we work this out? But again, sometimes these are not going to be 100% perfect or 100% complete. And as long as you get a lot of those pieces, it's really important. So The clear message format is awesome when you're trying to, especially when you feel like you're not being heard in a situation, because it lets you kind of think through, what is it that I need to communicate in order for them to really understand where I'm coming from? And remember, at the end of the day, the only kind of behavior that you can control is your own. And so if you know you're being clear, then that is one less thing you have to worry about in a conflict. So I hope that's helpful. As always, let me know if you've got questions. See you in the next video.